we are doing. This theme and discussion on this particular theme should lead us to answer two basic questions. Question number one is that, why is it that by your observation and by my observation, when it comes to Ramadan, our collective interest and motivation and drive to execute some of the rituals, some good habits and good deeds is rising high to the highest level? Why? And then after Ramadan, that same level of motivation comes down to the lowest level, to the extent that we almost, after a week or after a month, forget about all that we were doing in Ramadan. Unfortunately, to the extent that we might return to some of our bad habits. Question number one that we need an answer that this delivery will answer. Question number two is that, why is it that naturally within our communities, not only the scholars, even those who are not scholars, the ordinary Muslim is motivated to set aside all our mistakes, is motivated to set aside all our bad habits and strive hard to rather do other good things. We set aside the bad habit, but when Ramadan also passes, gradually we get motivated to go and take those bad habits. Why? Can we ensure that whatever good we do in Ramadan, we continue, and whatever bad we live in Ramadan, we just completely say a goodbye to it in our life and continue with a new chapter? Alhamdulillah, we are in a religion that worship and rituals itself are potent, effective, and very important and significant tools towards the refinement of your life and in helping you to succeed. If you worship very well in Islam according to the Quran and according to the Sunnah, no ritual will be a waste of time for you. Every ritual will be a motivation. It will be an effective tool to guiding you and helping you achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. Every ritual in Islam will help you. It is never and never a waste of time for you. So these basic two questions, the reason why we find these two situations that we are asking questions on them, there are 5 basic reasons. Number one is that Allah Azza wa Jalla himself, he engulfs the whole world with his mercy and guidance in the month of Ramadan. And whether you are very religious or you are not religious, by his mercy you get some of the guidance. So the Quran is hudan lil muttaqin, lil muslimin, lil mu'minin. But when it comes to the month of Ramadan, then Allah says shahru Ramadan.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون.
صدق الله العظيم. When it comes to Ramadan and we relate with the Quran becomes hudan linnas. It's direct guidance and mercy, and for that matter, our naturally inherent, intrinsic source of motivation gets automatically awakened And each and every one of us will find ourselves struggling to do something that is good. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us that إِذَا دَخَلَ رَمَضَانَ فُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُ الْجَنَّةِ, that when we get to Ramadan, you find the doors to heaven completely opened and left opened. All the spiritual channel of perception that comes from Jannah now will come direct. It is left unto you to also open up your heart. And the link between the mind and then also the heart that was choked with our love for materialism, food, sex, and so many other things, that link completely gets opened. And there is a direct link between our heart and Jannah. And for that matter, we find ourselves elated and we get to a particular level that we begin to understand. And like the Quran said, Hudan linnas wa bayyinatin min al-huda, we begin to understand the Quran when we read. We begin to find some sweetness in the explanation that the ulama will give to us. Then we continue to even get to the level wal furqan. We are able now to use the teaching of the Quran to get us guided to know that this is correct, this is what bad. We are able to tame the soul down. To tame the soul down. Not to take us to what? The wrong what? Direction. But we tame the soul down to let it take us to the right what? Direction. Imam Ghazali says that between us and Allah Azza wa Jal, there are 4 obstacles. Obstacle number 1 is our soul. Obstacle number 2 is what? Satan. Obstacle number 3 is our social environment. And obstacle number 4 is also our love for materialism. And he says that the worst of all your enemy is that your soul that is within you. It sleeps with you and gets up with you. Even Satan, you can block Satan from entering into you. That you should block the way that Satan will pass and enter into you. That is your blood vessels. That Satan will pass and enter into you with hunger and thirst. With fasting, you are able to block what? Satan from entering into you. So Satan, you can deal with it. Social environment, you can struggle as much as you can. But then when it comes to the soul, the worst is that the soul is with you morning and evening. And Allah Azza wa Jal, by His mercy, is going to support and guide us to tame the soul down in this month of what? Ramadan. So with this particular explanation, especially the hadith is إِذَا دَخَلَ رَمَضَانُ فُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُ الْجَنَّةِ, that the doors of Jannah is open, وَغُلِّقَتْ أَبْوَابُ الْجَهَنَّمِ, and the doors of hellfire are closed, وَسُلْسِلَةِ الشَّيَاطِينِ, and the shayateen are also chained. Some people think that that is the only reason why when we enter into Ramadan, we don't do the bad things. But after Ramadan, because Satan will be unlocked, perhaps to them, the door to Jannah will be locked, and then the door to hellfire will be open. So it is natural for him to go back again to his bad deeds or bad habits after Ramadan. Unfortunately, that is a misconception. Misconception number 2.